Welcome to Cineverse Theories. I'm your host Tyler, and today I'm going to give you a rapid rundown of the first two Deadpool movies and tell you everything you need to know before watching Deadpool and Wolverine. Before donning the red suit, Wade Wilson was your typical ex-Special Forces operative turned hired gun with a twisted moral compass and a soft spot for the little guy. Wade spent his days at Sister Margaret's, a shady bar for mercs and lowlifes, which is run by his friend Weasel. It's here Wade meets his love interest, Vanessa, and their not appropriate for YouTube romance begins. We see Wade and Vanessa celebrating every holiday in the most unconventional ways. Then Wade proposes with a ring pop that he popped out of his butt. Their bliss is shattered when Wade collapses and finds out he has terminal cancer. To spare Vanessa from watching him die a slow and miserable death, Wade leaves her in the middle of the night. And this is where we see a mysterious recruiter with an offer. He has a cure for cancer and a chance for Wade to become a superhero. Desperate and out of options at this point, Wade eventually agrees. Then we see him get taken to a sketchy facility where they experiment on mutants. Here we meet Ajax, a sadistic scientist who has superhuman strength and does not feel pain or anything. And his accomplice slash powerhouse enforcer, Angel Dust, who has like superhuman strength. We see Wade pissing them off right from the get-go with his wisecracks and just antics that he does in typical Deadpool fashion. Ajax then injects him with the serum that's meant to activate his latent mutant abilities, but only under extreme stress. So this means Wade has to be tortured in order to trigger his mutant gene. But throughout the torture, his sense of humor never falters. In fact, they reach all new heights when Wade finds out Ajax's real name.
How tough can he be with a name like Francis?
It's here where things start to get rough for Wade, and we start to see his sense of humor fade out a little bit. Ajax puts him in this chamber that keeps him on the verge of death. It keeps the oxygen real low, and then it gives him just enough to stay alive. It's basically just a torture chamber. And he locks him in there overnight, and his powers finally activate. He comes back in the next day and sees that he has changed. He now has accelerated healing powers, meaning he just cannot be killed, basically. And Ajax threatens to lock him back in over the weekend just to be even though the process gave him these new powers, it also left him looking like
a testicle with teeth.
It's here we see Wade try to escape, and he ends up fighting Ajax in the process, but they burn the whole building down and he is left in the rubble. Fast forward a little bit, he is unable to face Vanessa because of this new disfigured look that he has, so he's looking for revenge on Ajax / Francis. This is where he adopts the alter ego known as Deadpool, and it's inspired by the bar's betting pool on which Merc would die first. After a few trial and error with different suits, Deadpool dons the iconic red suit and embarks on a citywide manhunt for Francis, believing he can reverse his disfigurement. Side note, I saw this on a post a couple years ago, and it made things so much funnier to me. See, throughout the movie, Wade is just killing like dozens and dozens of Ajax people in search of Francis. But none of these thugs, henchmen, whatever you want to call them, none of these guys knew who Francis was. They did not know Ajax's real name. So if he'd have just been asking for Ajax the whole time, he wouldn't have spent a year hunting these people down, and he could have found him a lot sooner. But anyways, now Deadpool lives with this elderly blind woman who's named Al, or Blind Al, as he refers to her.
God, I miss cocaine.
Now with a solid lead and the help of his taxi driver Dopinder, Deadpool ambushes Ajax during a shady deal, and this is what we see at the very start of the movie on the freeway. But just as Deadpool is about to get his revenge on Ajax, a couple of X-Men show up, Colossus and Negasonic teenage Warhead, and in the confusion, Ajax escapes. This pisses Deadpool off, who then attempts to attack Colossus but only ends up hurting himself because he's Colossus. Once Deadpool is subdued, he's handcuffed to Colossus and they're taking him back to the X-Mansion. But Deadpool cuts off his hand in the process and jumps off a bridge to escape.
You ever see 127 Hours? Spoiler alert.
Once his hand grows back, Wade decides to reconnect with Vanessa. But this reunion is ruined by Ajax, who has already kidnapped her to bait Deadpool. Seeking help, Deadpool convinces Colossus and Negasonic to join him. They head to Ajax's hideout, which is an old helicarrier which really resembles one of the helicarriers used in Captain America Winter Soldier, but I think that's just kind of a little nod since at the time they're in different universes. And here we see Colossus and Negasonic take on Angel Dust, And while they're doing that, Deadpool is killing all of Ajax's men, and he spells out Francis with their dead bodies, just to get another little jab at the villain. Deadpool shoots to the top of the helicarrier to save Vanessa and fight Ajax. Then the helicarrier collapses, and Deadpool saves Vanessa from the fall, but before they can reconnect, Ajax attacks him again. As the dust settles, Deadpool confronts Ajax, only to learn that there is no cure for his appearance. He prepares to kill Ajax, but Colossus delivers a heartfelt speech about heroism and mercy, which Deadpool promptly ignores and puts a bullet right in Ajax's head. Finally, Deadpool reveals his scarred face to Vanessa in a touching moment where he pulls off his mask and there is a picture or a cutout of Hugh Jackman stapled to his face. She pulls that off, she sees the face, but she accepts him, scars and all, proving that love truly is blind, or at least it's not shallow. The movie wraps up with Deadpool breaking the fourth wall one last time in an end credit scene, teasing the sequel and the introduction of Cable, all while channeling his inner Ferris Bueller. Now jumping over to Deadpool 2, we see Deadpool laying on a pile of fuel barrels, smoking a cigarette in his Crocs as I'm All Out of Love plays in the background. We see a montage of photos with Vanessa leading to Wade blowing himself up. He even spoils the ending of Logan breaking the fourth wall, saying,
Well, guess what, Wolvie? I'm dying in this one too.
But before we get into all that, let's rewind 6 weeks. Deadpool is on his world tour of mercenary missions, just killing everybody. He breaks the fourth wall, saying hit it Dolly, as working 9 to 5 plays over a montage of him just killing people literally all over the world. Similar to how he did in the first movie, saying the first one was a love story, he declares this one a family film. We see him celebrating his anniversary with Vanessa. They joke about Batman versus Superman's Martha moment, that cringy scene. And Wade gives Vanessa a token from their first date as they talk about starting a family together. Things seem perfect until a group of thugs breaks into the apartment. We see a slow-mo shot and catch every detail from Wade's point of view. He kills them one by one using a variety of creative methods, including a cream cheese spreader. But Wade missed one of the thugs, and in a tragic turn, Vanessa is shot in the heart and dies instantly. Overwhelmed with rage, Wade leaps out the window, chases down the killer, and drop kicks him right through a car door. Before he kills the man, he hugs him tight and jumps in front of an oncoming ambulance. This takes us straight to a James Bond style intro paired with Celine Dion's Ashes, which was written for this movie, I do believe. Next, we see Wade, who is overcome with guilt, sitting in a bar talking to Weasel and Dopender, where he soils himself as he's talking to them. He's also holding the skee ball token from his first date with Vanessa. Next, we see him sneak into Blind Al's place, where after a heartfelt pep talk from Al, Deadpool snorts a bunch of coke, which he finds next to something labeled Cure for Blindness on it, and this was mentioned in the first Deadpool movie as well. And then we end up back at the beginning where he's laying on the barrels and blows himself up. We see what appears to look like his death, and in the afterlife, Wade sees Vanessa, but he can't reach her. She tells him his heart is not in the right place. Next, we see Colossus retrieving all of Deadpool's body parts, and he brings him back to the X-Mansion, hoping to make him an X-Man. We see Negasonic again and meet Yukio. Deadpool then rides around in Professor X's chair, complaining about the lack of X-Men, to which we see a cameo of all the newer X-Men closing a door to hide from him. Colossus gives Deadpool another speech and insists that this is the family that he needs right now. Meanwhile, we meet Cable, a soldier from the future with a tragic past. Short story, Cable's family and pretty much his entire world is on fire. Like, his family's been killed, and he is on a mission to go back in time to prevent all of that from happening. And he travels back in time with this time travel bracelet, similar to the one used in Endgame, but not quite. Back in the present, Deadpool, who is now a trainee X-Man, heads to the Essex house for mutant rehabilitation with Colossus and Negasonic. They encounter a troubled kid named Russell who is going by the name FireFfst. He basically has pyrokinesis, and you can tell he's been abused by the staff there. A fight breaks out, and Deadpool kills one of the orderlies, getting himself and Russell sent to the Icebox, which is basically a mutant prison. So in the Icebox, all the mutants have these power suppressant collars on. So this means his healing factor is turned off and his cancer returns, and it looks like he may die here. Cable arrives and a brutal fight ensues. It's there where Deadpool realizes Cable is after Russell, not him. During his fight with Cable, Deadpool's making Winter Soldier arm jokes and DC jokes about Cable being dark and broody.
You're so dark!
You sure you're not from the DC universe?
And he ends up breaking his back, which causes his collar to fall off and his powers to return. He stops Cable from killing Russell, and even though Deadpool saved Russell, he tells Cable he doesn't care about him, which Russell overhears, and this really shifts the dynamic in the movie. Because this whole time, Russell has looked up to Deadpool and wanted to be buddies with him, and now he just feels betrayed again, feels like he has nobody, and he's going to look for someone big to fill that hole. Anyway, they continue to fight, and Deadpool takes a bad tumble down the side of a mountain and lands in a frozen lake, and he physically hits rock bottom. As he's on the brink of death again, he sees Vanessa, and this time she encourages him to give the kid a chance. And then we find out some of the prisoners, including Russell, are being transported from the Icebox to another facility. Next, we see Deadpool recruiting a team of misfits who will later be known as the X-Force. While that's happening, Cable catches Weasel and is threatening to torture him for info on Russell, but Weasel immediately spills the beans and tells him exactly where they are before Cable can even touch him. Deadpool and the X-Force head off to rescue Russell, but as they're going to do so, majority of the team dies in a botched parachute jump, except for Domino, whose luck powers see her through. Now down to 2, Deadpool and Domino head to rescue Russell from the convoy, but Cable interjects and puts a halt to their plans yet again. On the transport, we see this awesome fight sequence between Deadpool and Cable, and we also see an Easter egg of Deadpool, quote-unquote, deflecting bullets, similar to how he did in X-Men Origins Wolverine, but without actually deflecting them. Then in the middle of the fight, the bridge collapses and the transport crashes, and it's revealed that Russell has teamed up with Juggernaut, who has now escaped and rips Deadpool in half. While Deadpool's recovering at Blind Owl's with his toddler legs showing literally everything, he and Cable join forces and come up with a plan and stop Russell from becoming the killer he is in Cable's timeline. And yeah, if I hadn't explained it, Russell is the reason for Cable's family's death and the destruction of the whole world. The team head out to the orphanage for the final showdown. Once there, Deadpool, Cable, Domino, Colossus, and Negasonic battle Juggernaut and Russell. In the dramatic moment, Deadpool puts his power suppressing collar on and takes a bullet for Russell, hoping to change his fate. As Deadpool dies slowly, like extremely slowly, he dies like 7 or 8 times. It's just a funny, like 4-minute gag. Cable uses his last time travel charge to go back in time and place Vanessa's skee-ball token in Wade's suit, where the bullet will hit and it saves his life. And even though Russell has changed his mind about killing the headmaster and the future has been saved, the headmaster still ends up getting killed by Dopender, nonetheless, who runs him over with his taxi. In a mid-credit scene, Yukio repairs Cable's time travel device, but Wade takes it for his own purposes. He uses the device to save Vanessa and Peter from the X-Force. He also eliminates the version of Deadpool from X-Men Origins and prevents Ryan Reynolds from starring in Green Lantern by putting a bullet through his head as he's reading the script. And this is where we will pick up in Deadpool and Wolverine in just a few weeks. That does it for this rapid rundown of Deadpool 1 and 2. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and I will catch you in the next one.